So for this project, I'm going to show you how to read a blueprint and how to make the base for this eye mechanism. So let's go and get started. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is right when you get inside of... when we get inside of SolidWorks, we're going to click over here where it says Part. Then we're going to go over here to Sketch. Then I'm going to click over here where it says Sketch in the top left corner. Then I'm going to click on Front Plane. Then I'm going to click on the line tool. Before that, I'm going to scoot my window over so we can see the measurements I need to make. And we're going to try to get these numbers as close as possible to our blueprint over here. So the height of this needs to be 2.5. So I'm going to click over here on the line tool. And I'm going to hover over the origin, that orange circle there. I'm going to click and drag over because I'm going to do the width of this. I'm going to do 3.5 first. So try to get this as close as possible. So there's 3.5 right there. Then I'm going to click up. Try to get close as possible to 2.5. There's 2.5 there. And what I need to do is I'm going to move away from where I just clicked right now. You have to kind of go back twice to activate this little arch button here. And I need to get this as a radius of 0.5. I'm going to move my mouse so we can see what that is. To 0.5. So if you look to the right of where my pencil tool is, it says R equals 0.5, so I'm going to click there. I'm going to move horizontally from there to 1.5, or as close as possible, 1.5. And then I'm going to move away from that last point, and then I'm going to activate that curve. So there it is there. And this is going to be also 0.5. I'm going to click back to the origin. I'm going to click on the green check mark, click on Smart Dimensions, and then we're going to make this as accurate as possible. So now I'm going to click on this bottom part, click and move my mouse outward. So it says 2.5, but then it has a bunch of decimals after that as well. So I'm going to make it just 3.5. I'm going to Smart Dimension you could do the left side or the right side. I'm just going to do the right side. So it also says 2.5. But that's rounded up. So I'm going to click on 2.5 and then enter. And then this arch, I'm going to click on this orange arch here and then move outward diagonally to get the radius. And this middle part here is also important, so I'm going to click there and then move upward. That number is also rounded up, so I'm going to get rid of that and just make it a solid number. And I'm going to check this arch here. That should also be 1.5. And then I'm going to click on this green check mark and then exit. Okay, now what we need to do now is we need to go back to Features. I'm going to click on Extruded Boss, and I'm going to scroll down here on our blueprint, and the width of this model needs to be 0.25. So over here, I'm going to change it to 0.25, and then enter, and then green check mark. I'm going to go back to Sketch, click on Sketch again. I'm going to click on this front plane here, and now I'm going to go over to this circle tool. I'm going to make this window a little bit bigger so you can see what I'm doing. And what we're going to try to do is remake one of these circles here. So I could probably make this a little bit bigger. And with my circle tool selected, I'm going to hover over this middle part. I'm going to try to make this a little bit easier to see, so I'm going to go over here where it says Display Style. And then lines visible. Okay, so here is my pencil tool. I'm hovering here across this line, moving towards the center of this arch here. And there's my pencil tool. There's the origin of this circle here. So I'm going to click and then move my mouse outward. Do the same thing over here. Make sure we have the center line. That's the same. Find the center point. On the origin of this circle, of this arch, and click and move outward. It's okay if it's not perfect right now. I'm going to click this green check mark, click on Smart Dimensions. So you can see over here it says 0.5 is the diameter. So I'm going to get rid of that. 0.5. This one also needs to be Smart Dimensioned to 0.5. Outward. 0.5. Green check mark there. I'm going to hit this green check mark as well. And I'm going to exit Sketch. I'm going to go back to Features. And before we move on, I'm going to save this file because we're going to reuse the same bottom base for a top half. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. So I'm going to go up here to Save. But instead, I'm going to click here on this drop-down menu, click on Save As, because we're going to use the same file but as something else. So make sure you save on your OneDrive. I'm going to go over to my Documents folder. On the year that we're currently in, click on the period you have my class, the semester we're currently in, and then the project folder. So this project already has a file name. It's called iMechanism. You can save it in the same folder as the eyeball if you previously made that. And I'm going to call this base bottom, and I'm going to date it. I'm going to go ahead and click on Save. What I'm also going to add is I'm going to add the word before cut because we need to cut some holes out of this, but this is before the cut because I'm going to reuse this file. So this is before the cut. So save. Okay, so I'm going to move around this model. This just has circles on it. So I'm in Features. I'm going to click on Extruded Cut. I have those two circles selected still. I'm going to change where it says blind to through all. And then I'm going to click on this green check mark. I'm going to click over here where it has the view. I'm going to click on shaded with edges. And you can see that those cuts are gone now. So it's going to be one file here. All right, so we could save this as a different file name. So I want to go to Menu, Save As, and I'm going to change this to After Cut, because now it has holes inside of it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open that other file that we just saved, and there it is there. So before cut, so I'm going to open that up, and these holes are going to be a different dimension. So I could actually delete these. And then I'm going to add some other circles that are going to be a different width. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to open up the PDF for the top part of the base. So it might be called base top. And it's going to have these circles here, but they're going to be a different size, okay? Now that's on the left-hand side. These are the measurements. This document over here is the before cut. Okay, so this, if I change the view, right, these holes are not cut out yet. But we're going to do that right now. We're going to get rid of these circles. I'm going to select them. And I'm just going to hit delete. And they're deleted. Okay, so I'm going to go over to Sketch. Okay, so we're going to click on Sketch. Click on this plane here. Click on the circle tool. I'm going to hover on that plane. I'm going to move around the origin of this circle here, click and drag outward. Same thing to the right side, try to find that origin part there of that circle. Click and drag out. And I'm going to click on Smart Dimensions, click on the edge here, drag outward. This one's going to be 0.11. I'm going to click on the edge here, so I'm going to click, let go, drag diagonally. And then change this to 0.11. Click on that green check mark. Click on this green check mark as well. Then exit Sketch. I'm going to go to Features. I'm going to click on Extruded Cut. Change blind to through all. And then click on this green check mark. I'm going to change the display style. So you can see that we have that cut that goes all the way through there, okay? So now we just need to save this. We have the file name, so base top. Let's just double check. So I'm going to go to Save As. And it's okay if I write over it. It's the same file. And click on Save. Okay, so if you have any questions of how to read the blueprint how to transfer those over into SolidWorks, how to extrude, how to use the circle or the line tool inside of SolidWorks, go ahead and let me know. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And feel free to watch any of the other related videos.